One of the funniest
Merry
things,
Christmas.
one of the funniest things I ever saw was at Johnny and Mandy's wedding. And then the day after the wedding, we were all sitting around the pool over there talking.
Yeah.
And Mom was sitting there, and she wasn't saying a lot.
Yeah.
She was just sitting there and everything going on. Then Sandra came up and said, "Well, Mom, are you ready to go?" She turned around and she said, "I'll tell you when I'm ready to go."
Oh,
Tie into their power.
We're not doing anything.
Kelly, what do you think?
Careful, watch the pool, buddy.
About what? The cat. What do you think about Dave's cat?
I don't know, I haven't met him yet.
You're gonna be cat.
You're going to be cat sitting. That's what I told her. You will be cat sitting.
It's a cat.
Not really,
Just
you know.
be
Bounces go
careful.
Curt back, kick right. Curt back.
Praise the Lord.
Keep your mouth shut before you say anything like that.
She's been around Arlo.
Hello.
Oh,
Hey, everybody.
Did I say anything bad?
so Katie's driving Stephanie to the hospital.
I said.
It's Katie's dad.
She didn't really tell me that. I walked in one day, she was in the bathroom. I thought
Let us do that.
I heard you're opening.
Actually, do it with the sunset behind us, and we'll say we're in.
Okay.
Here we are. I gotta do that. I got Brett and Leslie's wedding in beautiful Hawaii. And the sun setting on the beach here behind us, and we're so sorry that Kelly and Renee couldn't make it.
Is this for Kelly?
As the most important cousin in law.
But I am the favorite.
Oh, yeah, the favorite's here. That's always what we hear.
Hi there, sir. What are you doing there?
This is a wonderful event. We're
Great.
so glad to be here. Who is it that who are we celebrating?
Brett and Leslie.
We are celebrating. It's been a month anniversary.
Did it without us?
Delighted.
Yeah, who's all in that group without us?
I'm with
That would be all of us. That'd be the majority of us.
How many of us is without?
Unfortunate.
It was so disappointing.
I was there.
You were there, but that's good.
I was there and it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert.
Congratulations.
Wait. Okay, go keep going because you gotta predict about the kids.
Well, I got something else.
I feel fine.
Just the gender. Of course, Avery's kind of messed that up. So.
Are you going to top Stephanie's record here?
No, I've quit this down.
Hands for 6. Hands for 5. Pass. Just that? Where did we go?
I'm not. Are you buying the hand?
No.
No.
Nobody's buying?
No. Poker.
Okay. Here we go. You're on camera now, though. Good while you're doing it. Watch your language, too.
You're going to make it a quick video.
More words?
December 28th, 2005.
Sweet have no reason to stay. Adios and vaya conmigo. Yeah, I'm leaving today.
Doesn't matter
Oh
what
yeah.
you wear, 'cause it's only gonna be you and me there. I'm having a party.
Party with two.
There ain't nobody but you.
But he wouldn't travel with us. But our first trip was in 1999 in the fall, and we went to the Fall Colors out on the East Coast. And Becky laid down some laws about us being together, because we're all a bunch of bossy bitches.
You gotta talk louder, I can't hear you.
And she, so Becky had said right away, you know, you guys, we really got to be good this next 10 days, and nobody's going to boss anybody around. Nobody's going to tell what we should be doing all the time. So just kind of, if you want to say something, lay off. Okay, fine. So the first night, she's in a room with Sherla. Becky and I shared a room with Jerry. Becky and I were in a bed, and Jerry's in a bed. Well, about 3 in the morning, we wake up. I thought, oh, Jerry's getting up to pee. Well, Jerry didn't travel with a nice overnight bag. Jerry traveled with plastic sacks.
Just like my mother.
So we're laying there thinking, oh, she's going to pee and go back to bed.
We heard a rustling in the sack.
We hear this rustling in the sacks. I can still see Becky lift her head off the bed and look at me like, what the hell is she doing? And we said, don't say anything. So we didn't say anything. Well, she proceeded to go in and take a shower.
Jerry,
And we thought, don't say
And what time
anything.
was it?
3 in the morning. And I said, I guess she can't sleep. And she's taking a shower. Well, so then we were dozing off and on, not saying anything. And, well, then she left. She got dressed and she left. So we said, well, what is she doing? Well, then about 7 o'clock in the morning, here she, and we all went down. We were up and dressed by 8 in the morning.
We were supposed to be ready by 8.
And Jerry's down in the lobby sitting. And she said, why didn't you girls tell me it was 3 in the morning? She had read 8 o'clock. And she thought, I'll get up and take the first shower. Get out of Jerry way. She did not realize till she got into the lobby it was 3. So she had sat there from 3. You said, well, why didn't you come back and knock? I didn't want to wake you up. She didn't come back. And she proceeded to nap all afternoon in the bus. Next.
Next, me. Back in the early 80s, when my brother Sonny was diagnosed with cancer. We all decided to go to Mowbray fishing, the whole family. And I had an old Ford pickup, old 459 engine Ford pickup. Got about 8 miles to the gallon. So I'll pack up Brett, Craig, and me and go up there. I don't know, you guys were 12, 8 and 12, something like that. And go up there and, you know, we're going to go out and go fishing. We rode up with Sonny. We met, and Lee rode up with Sonny. And we met Bill at a casket out on the river. And we went out there and went fishing. Sonny and I and Brett and Craig in his little 15-foot lung with about a 25-horse motor. We go clear across the river. Well, storm comes up. You know, we come back across the river, and we're going through rollers about as high as the ceiling. Yeah. And I'm scared to death for a kid. We finally got up to Mowbray, and the weather the rest of that weekend was just crap. I mean, just rain, you know, have them poor kids out there. And finally, they decided to stay at Jerry's and not go out. You know, they got their big-hearted Jerry. Took those kids downtown. Brought them home. I don't know if we're gonna get through this time.
You can do it, Curt. You can do it.
But bought those kids models and paint and everything, and made damn sure they were occupied.
Yeah.
Always did that.
Yeah.
Kids were first. She didn't want to mess up her house.
Kids always gave.
I got you to change these kids to destroy my house.
Kids always came first.
Yeah. Can I finish that story? When Curt left, Patty would understand. He left all his pillows, he left tennis shoes, he left coats, and we were picking up after they left. And Jerry said, "Look at all the stuff he left." Do you remember that?
You want to hear the rest of the story? I had gone to California for my nephew's graduation, and nervous about, Curt, how's he going to take care of these kids? It was Shane's graduation. We come back, and they've done a load of laundry, and you remember that? The paint that Jerry had bought for them.
The green model paint was in my hoodie.
And you know where it ended up? In my washer and my dryer. Note to self, don't ever let them go off by themselves again.
Did you just run the dry washer several times? Or have
Yep,
that,
Curt.
is that old? Yeah.
Okay, I was about 20. Jerry was 22. She had got married a couple years before. Bill had, let's see, she got pregnant right away, of course. Bill was with an engineering firm in Kansas City. He got drafted. Jerry was 7 months pregnant. So, Bill, he immediately was sent to Korea. The war was just over, luckily. So Jerry, of course, came home. She was 7 months pregnant. She couldn't live alone. So she came home, stayed with the folks. I was still at home working at the college. So it got to be Jerry and Bill's first anniversary. So we decided we'd go out and celebrate her anniversary instead of her being with Bill. So Cheryl and John lived in Sioux Falls. Don't think they were married yet. So we go to Sioux Falls and we get Susan Straw, our friend, to drive us to Sioux Falls because Susan wouldn't lay off the booze and drive. So, of course, I was 20, not 21. John takes us to Stockman's Bar. I think the place is still operating down by the stockyard. Cute little place. We're down there. They got hard-boiled eggs on the counter, and chips. We're sitting at the bar getting pitchers of beer. We drank 13 pitchers of beer. And Susan drank 9, John and Sean drank a little, and Jerry and I put the rest of it.
John Ike always said he had 2 glasses.
Down the counter having we had a good time. So afterwards, Shirley's got this new roommate who is twice Shirley's age, 40-something. She lives upstairs. They're going to take us to Shirley's apartment and get us sobered up before we go back to Brookings. Well, so they're trying to get us up these steps. Neither one of us could walk. John and I is behind us, literally pushing.
Oh my word.
We get up there. Nora gets up. That was Shirley's roommate. Never met her before. Here's Shirley's 2 sisters just stoned to the gills. But Nora was a really good sport. We both had brand new skirts on. Mother had made us.
Yes, of course.
Mine was striped. Jerry's, I think, was a solid color.
As she's eating
Days of
pregnant?
circle skirts, big cotton circle skirts. So we stayed a while, and got us sober enough to get in the car, and Susan was driving us home. We got home, we went out for spaghetti first. At 3 in the morning, my spaghetti showed up again. I didn't eat spaghetti for years. But we got up the next morning and we both had about 10 cigarette holes in those drinks. It's a wonder we didn't go up flames. But we had a good time.
Okay, Sandra, I have a question. So was Jerry pregnant at that time?
No.
Was she pregnant when she drank the beer?
Oh, no, she had had Susan.
Oh, I was like, she's 8 months pregnant.
Okay, started telling them how Jerry and Bill
Yeah.
met. That's just great.
Oh my gosh.
How Jerry what? Jerry and Bill met. That quick story how Jerry and Bill met. Oh, Sandra, tell it. I don't quite remember. You told me out there. I don't remember what you told me.
Jerry and Bill met.
Oh, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Bill was at South Dakota State engineering student. I think he was still a junior. Jerry had a real good friend. Her name was Shirley, if I remember rightly. And Shirley was dating Bill. And so Shirley lined Jerry up with, or else Jerry was already dating this other guy. So they go to the movie. I think it was a movie. After the movie, they get in the car. Jerry gets in the back seat. Shirley's in the front. Bill gets in the back seat with Jerry. Kind of letting Shirley know that they were
I don't like it. And the rest is history.
And Bill was cute. Oh my God.
Oh, he was so lovely. Well, your husband was pretty cute too. How you two got such good looking men, I'll never know.
What's that?
No, I'm just making, I have the most handsome husband in the world.
You do.
I love him.
Must be something about the Knudsen girl.
Well, my stories aren't as good,
Oh, yeah.
but,
Becky, tell her one about my mom's band sign.
oh, then you gotta tell that story. You gotta tell that story. Jerry just was always about everybody else, taking care of everybody, and I'll just tell you a few things these last couple of years with Jerry. I would go out to Anoka, about an hour away from us, once every 2 weeks, and we'd play cards and drink whiskey. Eric used to say, "Oh, you're gonna go drink whiskey with Jerry?"
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Just 2 talls over 4 hours, and I'll be fine." So
Real
I'd
quick,
go
let
out.
me interject real quick. I used to go out there with some friends of mine out to Phoenix when Jerry lived out there, and I'd stay with her. And I'd always buy a little jug of Crown, But she'd always ask me when I went, and she said, "Well, are you going to take that with you?"
She liked Jack Daniels. Yeah, she liked Jack. She always had Jack Daniels when I went out. So anyhow, over the time, Jerry and I went from drinking 2 whiskeys, playing a lot of canasta, a lot of cards, having a lot of fun. But then as her eyes started failing her, and then she'd make me delicious, like tuna noodles with heavy cream. And just really always had a good time. Always, can't say I always wanted to go so far, but I always left and was so glad I'd gone. So, as time's passed here, Jerry couldn't see, and she could no longer play canasta because it's a lot of cards, 7 decks of cards, and her eyesight was failing. So we'd play Skipple with the big cards. And if I set the lamps right, she'd sit in the chair, and then she had one of those old-fashioned lamps with the lights off of it, and so I'd stand over here and she'd tell me how to adjust it. So well, as she was failing, we could no more play Skipple. So I thought, well, now what are we going to do? So I just went out, and the first thing she'd say is, "You want to fix our whiskey?" No problem. No problem. So I'd go fix our whiskey, and then she taught me I needed to make it a little stronger. So hers was always a little stronger. Jerry didn't drink. Only, really, she didn't drink.
Only when she was round up.
Only when she was round up. Jerry really didn't drink.
That was the only way to tolerate that.
When she mowed the lawn in Watertown, she had 2 beers when she was done. And she said they went down real easy. But Jerry really didn't drink. So anyhow, we'd have our whiskey. And so then I thought, well, now what are we going to do? Because we've always played cards. Well, so I thought, well, we'll just see how this goes. So she'd sit in her one recliner, then her coffee table, and our 2 whiskeys. And then I sat in the other recliner. And she'd tell me the best stories. Things I didn't know about growing up. Because Sandra, the 5 oldest kids, and then Sonny was a baby. And then there were 11 years before this one. And Vicki and I were the babies. So she told me so many wonderful stories that I had never heard. And I thought, what a blessing that we could paint the hearts. And I started, and she just, and some days I always wanted to get on the road by 3:30 because traffic. Some days I'd look at the clock and I'd say, she's still talking. I loved every minute of it. So then at the end, my final story. Jerry, I went out to see her, and the kids took very good care of Jerry, her kids, especially Amy. I can't say enough about Amy. And she was in the hospital bed, and I was in there holding her hand, and I thought, you don't have to talk, I'll just talk to you. And so I would just talk about our trips together. The time up in Superior when I went out, Curt was having a cigarette, and back then I'd go out and smoke a cigarette back then. And then we were up in Superior. Curt and his sisters, and the house was being painted. I told her this one, and she did smile. I said, remember up in Superior in that house? And I went out to have a cigarette with Curt, and those guys were painting the house, and Curt just casually said, yeah, I'm up here with my 5 sisters. These guys went, what? And he smirked and said, yeah, I know. And I said, I saw that. So anyhow, my last story. Jerry had made Mother this wonderful pink patchwork quilt that I loved. And so when Mom died, she said, what do you all want? And I loved that quilt. So I said, well, I want that pink quilt. And she said, oh no, I want that quilt. I said, well, she's entitled. She made it. It's her quilt. So the time before last when I went out, she was laying there. And she says to me, pink, pink. I said, pink, pink. She said pink, and she said quilt. I said pink quilt. And I said, Amy, I think she wants to cover up with the pink quilt because Jerry was cold and short. Amy says, no, she wants you to have that pink quilt. So much, well, I treasure that pink quilt forever. She was a gem. She was the most